first before we go underway. We're 3 minutes late. Absolutely disgraceful. Just check that's muted. Okay, so going to double check all the stuff's working, and I'll send the links out to my friends. Alright, that's all working. I'll just paste the link in the Discord that we are live. Let's do race streams. Okay, right. This map now I'm just gonna go and do. We had 2 streams going, but it didn't want to work. Okay, let's delete that one. Okay, there should only be 1 stream. Any problems, let me know. I'm going to be sending the links out because we are all ready to go. And before you ask, yeah, I know. Yes, the man himself, Mr. Tim Sweeney, is here, as per usual. Just got to get the links out to Freddie and all the others. So before you ask, yeah, I wasn't actually going to do this, but I'm bored because there's nothing to do. I'm in tier 4 now. There's honestly nothing to do. So I'm going to be sending the links out to all my mates. But yeah, I wasn't going to do this in the end. And then I just ran, and then me and Ben were talking, and now I am. I'll listen to that after this. Some artist I listen to just released a new song, so I'm going to be listening to that later, after all this. Just sending the links out now. Wait, nice one, brother. Hello, Echo. Nice one, brother. Okay, I'll just slight issue. We've got many problems. IFR. Do you want party chat invites to very no, because you smell, quite honestly. The main page. Okay, I've sent the link. It should all work now. That is the link. Don't know how many are watching. If you're watching, then put it in a fucking chat. I don't know. Hello, I can't have sound on, but I'm here. Don't worry. Alright, cool. That's fine. That's fine, Freddie. Look at me. I'm big pro streamer. Mate, you're literally on Twitch doing nothing, so like, shut up. God, that's loud in my ears. Anyway, welcome along then to the 2020 IFR Christmas Friendly Championship. No, I didn't think I was going to do this, but I am now. I wasn't originally going to actually do it, but I am now because your Twitch channels make you use default PS4 stream on Twitch, which is a terrible thing to do. Yeah, I wasn't going to do this, but I am now. Anyway, we're here for qualifying. The format is exactly the same, except this is full qualifying. So we've got half an hour qualifying. If they go out off the track, then I'll find that illegal. It is very illegal. It is very illegal. We are around Canada. This is the track we'll be racing on when an actual IFR's back in the F1 cars, doing it proper. Yeah, in case you haven't been able to work out, we're in F2 cars at the moment. Can they all just crash? Can you bugger off? I'm kidding. Everyone's on the super soft tyre except Becco, Briggsy and Nazareth. That's an interesting strategy call there. So in case you don't really know what F2 is, F2 cars are slower. The tyres pit stops take longer. The wheels the actual tyres themselves look a lot nicer. Basically, the racing is a bit better because dirty air isn't the thing. Sorry about the thing in the top corner. Just one of my mates coming online. And it's a spec series anyway. Although we have car performance on equal, it's fine. Although we all have car performance on equal anyway, it's just there's no dirty air, which is how much scattered air comes off the back of the car. Well, there is dirty air, but not as much. And also, well, they all just crash a limo. Also, there's a rule. This will be the same for F1 when we get here. On the corner Becco's coming up to now, so this is turn 8. There's a bollard on the left there. If you can see that little orange sticky up of it, you have to go around that if you muck up the corner. And it's the same into turn 13. We have a yellow flag in sector 1. It's just a lot of traffic here, as you can see. You're right on board with Becco then. Freddie's obviously going to want Becco on pole, although he won't be saying much today. If you're watching the stream, leave a like. Helps the channel grow, help me get to 100 subs. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I do this every week on the same time, and then race hearts will be out in a few days. There's an orange bollard to the left there. We'll go past it now. You have to go around that if you mug up the corner as well. Those are the rules, and this is what we'll be doing. Need to put the thumbnail on. I'll do that now. Literally forgot it. I didn't think I was going to be doing it this week, so I'm going to be all over the place. But I'm going to put the thumbnail on, and we will be golden. Upload thumbnail. It's currently top 2, so Jacunha and Slayer. Briggsy's put in a 120.4. I'm not really sure about the pace on this game. Not on this game, in these cars. As I've never been around this track in F2 cars. You have a yellow flag in sector 1, I think that's Kieran or Haida going slow. It was Haida. Right, thumbnail's all up, we should be good now. I'll head back to the stream. We're riding on board with him now. He seems to... One thing I'm fascinated to see is about the... destroyed my thumb. Is the fact that many people in this lobby haven't really driven these cars that much before. Okay, thumbnail's all up. Got 6 people watching, pretty good considering the fact that I didn't actually think I was going to be doing this. That's all. But I'm back on the chat now, so say what you like. Yeah, people will be struggling with the back end of these cars because they're completely different to F1 cars. Some of them even, the wheels look nicer than F1 cars in my opinion. They have thinner tyres, which is always very fun to see. Medzy's put in a 120.2 as Haida pits. Medzy, who's usually in the Williams and the F1 cars, has decided to go We've got Nazareth, as usual, the one of the fastest people in our league, in the Trident, going to 1 minute 20.047, so only about a tenth slower, no quicker than Dido, who normally isn't in our league. Got yellow flag in sector 2, that's one of the Carlins, I believe, and that is Aero Voice, struggling with the car, seems to have had a mistake coming out of turn 5, 7, I think, something like that, coming out of one of the corners, and has front wing damage as well, which is going to have to nurse the car home. He's currently in the Carlin with Yuki Tsunoda's car. Beko has put in a 119.963, which is currently the fastest lap of the session. And you've seen one of the Premiers go past. I do know the F2 teams, I just don't know them all off by heart. I know a few of them. It's the colours line. That's Medzi with a 119.327 for ART going on to provisional pole. Track is definitely getting quicker, and all the drivers are just getting quicker. These super soft tyres will last a lot longer. Up on board. See Nazareth pitting, one of the that's Briggsy, the HWAs pitted. We've got right on board with Kieran, or Sierrant. I still don't know how to say his name. Looking pretty racy, to be honest. He's in Felipe Drogovic's car. Going rather fast, I might add, as well. He's right on board with Louis Ferdinand, who spins round at turn 2. One of the more difficult corners on the track. As that's, I'm pretty sure that's the Kunha in the Dams car going past him there. So Louis Ferdinand, who is still in the pink car of HWA. Same for Briggsy, has spun. Except Briggsy didn't spin. But that's going to compromise. He's on the soft tyre, so we can definitely... And there's another spinner in the background. That's Slayer then in Guan Yu Zhou's car, who spun round at turn 2 as well. Seems to be coming out the pit lane as well, as he's on his out lap as Briggsy's coming back out. Gonna have to avoid Slayer. He's done that quite well. Briggsy obviously still wanting to win a race. He hasn't, from as far as I know, he hasn't won a race this season. He hasn't won since I've started. That's another car spinning. I think that's almost spin coming out of turn 2, or they just had to slow down quite considerably. Many people are struggling in turn 2. It's going to be an action point in the race as someone else has spun at turn 2. That's Era Voice. I know it's Nazareth has spun at turn 2. We're right on board with him now. Ow. That's my foot. My foot. So Medzi then can't on board with Beko. Surprisingly, one of the people who, although he's quick, he's not as quick as other people in this league. We'll say that. You know, another yellow flag in sector 1 is one of the other cars has spun. It's Beko going slowly. We'll hop back on board with Nazareth, who's in Roy Nassali's car, the Williams test and reserve driver, who's been in F1 practice sessions a few times. Beko's going very slowly. I think he might be out of fuel. So that's Beko out of fuel, crawling around the circuit. We've got another yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. That was Nazareth. I'm not sure why we had one. As he comes up to what's going to be one of the action points. If you brake late here, you have to go around the bollard. As he cuts the first corner, the Water Champions is there waiting for him. A very odd line through there as he goes on to his flying lap now. I have noticed strict track limits are not on, which is a bit of an odd one. I'm not sure why they've not been turned on. Might have to have a word with the lobby host about that, because people are definitely using these track limits to the limit, as one of the HWAs has gone a bit wide at the hairpin. It's still the yellow flag there. I'm not sure what's happening. One of the Carlins appears to have... Oh, of course, that's Beko out of fuel. All that, we'll hop back on board with Nazareth. It's quite dangerous going down that straight actually, because Becco is going quite slow. See how, so Nazareth is on, this is obviously the super soft tyre is going to be the quickest tyre, but as he's actually getting very close to the wall of champions, coming to the line now, it's going to be a 1 minute 19.6 that's going to place him in a very respectable 3rd place. As Luis Fernandez going quite slow. Someone's gone wide there, that's one of the Carlins, I'm pretty sure that's Era Voice spinning round at turn 2 again, and also I think that was Thirsty or Kieran, possibly going slowly, I couldn't quite tell. He has front wing damage, I don't know if he still has it from before. Still has front wing damage. Got a yellow flag in sector 3, but yeah, Luis Fernandez is also out of fuel as oh, and that was really contact there. I'm not sure why Louis won't get off the racing line. That's in the MP, I believe, of Nobuharu Matsushita's car. As he comes across the line now, he will be doing a 1 minute 20.4, which is going to place him in 8th place. Lily spinning it round, going into turn 2, and can he catch the car? He caught the car. Fantastic save. Yellow flag through turn 1. I'm not sure what's going on back here. It's not Slayer, it's Dido. With 10 Toon Stelling letting him pass. Some of these people I've never seen before, but it's good to have them here. Got a good sized lobby, almost full, 17 people. It's gonna be a bloody good race, if I do say so myself. Another yellow flag in sector 2, that's Nazareth probably going slowly. No it's not, it is probably Era Voice again. No it's not, it's 10 Toon Stelling going slowly because he's pretty out of fuel. Race will be all wet, will it? We've got a wet race. Oh, we've got a wet race. If that's true, that'll be brilliant. So, if you're watching this stream now, keep watching, we've got a wet race, according to Fabian. If anyone, that's why I'm having a wet setup. I didn't even notice you had a wet setup, to be honest, Fabian. But, this is going to be a very exciting race. What car are you in? Fabian, are you in one of the new ones? I don't think I've ever seen you here before. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, help me hit 100. Would be really appreciated. That's a very helpful insight from you. Let me know your PSN so I can work out what one you are in this, because I can't tell. And also, please subscribe. 10 Toon is now pitting. I think it really hitting the bollard there. Right on board with the Slayer now. Coming down into turn in the last 2 corners. Side corner cut. Trying to stay as far away from the wall of champions as possible. Carlin, but the wet setup doesn't work very good right now. Yeah, I can see why. It is a wet setup after all. You're Era Voice, aren't you? Well, right on board with you can't in the pit lane. There's a yellow flag out of turn 2. I'm not sure what that's for. I think that's Slayer going slow. Very slowly for Slayer. He must be out of fuel. Yep, Era Voice. Okay, thank you. Remember to subscribe. I'll be doing this every week, and if you're racing every week, you'll be able to see this. I'm tempted to phone Ben to get him in the stream. Because he's not here, and we've been saying all year he doesn't want to miss a wet race. If it is a wet race, it will be, how do I put this, chaos. Straight, good old fashioned chaos. Okay, we're using regular track limits because of the mixed groups. Very slow from slow, he's very low on fuel, must be. Thank you, Fabian. Thank you for helping me get to 100 subs. If you can, Fabian, send my channel to all your friends if they have interest in F1. Help me get to 100, but thank you, your subscription does mean a lot. I sound like a Netflix auto-generated email. We've got 13 minutes left of quali, so it is a longer qualifying, I have noticed. Thank God Slayer's off the line in the... Is he pulling over? I think he was tempted to pull over there, but he didn't. Medzi, Briggsy just put it on pole, 119.2. There he is. Ben's here. Yeah, Ben is a wet race, and as Slayer crashes into the polystyrene block there. But yeah, we have a wet race coming. So Ben, you're going to have fun doing the highlights for this. Just shaved and like above my lip is all cut, so it's quite painful. We're right on board with TKD, who puts it in second with a 119.2. One of the new drivers then in... Oh, he's in Mazepin's car, which isn't very good considering the current controversies, but we'll ignore it. But that is the high-tech of TKD M4N on the first rotor grid in second place. I think he's pushing again for another lap. He's got his DRS open, so there's no reason why he's not. His Haida's on a lap as well. Keep in mind, Era Voice will be a lot slower, but he's on a wet setup. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he will do. It's hard to get used to saying all these new names. I'm so used to saying people like Atmos and stuff. But in case you don't know, we still do have two groups. But Group 1 and 2s from the normal leagues are mixed. And we have brand new people in who we've never had in the league before. It's Era Voice coming back onto track with his wet setup, remember, so if you don't see a fantastic lap, it's because he's getting ready for the wet weather. Don't know if it's heavy rain. Seems to be all wet, so there's no chance of it drying up. So there'll be people sliding around all over the place, and we will barely be able to see the cars probably because of how wet it will be. Canada gets absolutely drenched. Right above your pole system now. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I'm not sure what that's for. Briggsy going very slow. I think he was letting Tentoon Stelling pass. So Ben, how was your sleep? Because you were asleep all day while I was outside filming and nearly getting run over by and having a car try to kill me, so I had to jump into the bush and now my phone's smashed. That's one of the... I'm not sure who that is actually, I couldn't quite tell. I think it might have been Spursy. Very strange from him. Yeah, it was Spursy. Taking a very weird line, but yeah, my phone is smashed. I'm getting it repaired tomorrow. So I'm just using my old phone. Because car came down alert. You know where the dump is, Ben, yeah. We were filming there, we're walking back, some car about going like 50 miles an hour. Came out to us, he like turned into us, we were by the side, letting him go past. Turned here, so we had to literally throw ourselves in the bushes, and my phone fell out of my hand and smashed onto the floor. That's about as far as it goes, really. 10 minutes left of quali. Apologies, it's a longer qualifying session. As I think that might be Kieran, who's had a massive off at this section here. He's gone onto the draining boards. He's had a massive spin round. in the wet, that would be quite a hot spot for spinning as well. Very strange. I thought I would have seen more mistakes there actually. It's quite. I thought I would have seen more on the second curb. Very strange to see them there. That was at turn something of us. There's someone going slow there as well. That was at turn 9. The turn 9 curb is quite dangerous, especially in the wet. Yeah, but Ben, you're going to have fun doing the highlights of this. I'm going to have fun commentating it as Kieran Pitts. We're going to ride on board with Era Voice, see what his lap time is. He's got a 121.072. So he hasn't moved up, but he's got a quicker lap time, which is more important. Keep in mind, he's on a slower setup. He's got more downforce for the wet tyres, which obviously in this track is quite fast on us with the straights and stuff. So he's not on an optimum setup for these conditions. But the race, if Era was right, who is Fabian in the chat, if he was right, then his setup will probably pay off in the race. I don't know who else has gone for the same. We'll see if anyone else has got a wet setup on. We can't. They'll have to say though. So I'm going slow on the straight. I'm pretty sure that's probably Alpha. Yeah, it's Alpha Stuns going very slowly. And zigzagging, I think, might be that was Briggsy zigzagging out of the way. If you're going to ride a ball with him now, he's on his out lap. People are really using the regular track limits to their advantage as we're using regular. Although I don't necessarily agree, we're using regular because of the mixed groups. He's into turn 1, you want to cut as much of that as you can without losing time through the long turn 2. Keep in mind, F2 cars normally have never gone round this track. They don't go to this track. So this is sort of a new territory, not for the cars but for the drivers, as some of these would never have either driven an F2 car, never have driven one round here, or straight up just not very good at these cars. No one really is. So, and this is only a friendly championship, so it's not. But there is still a championship, I do believe. Like, so there are still points and stuff. As that was Briggsy hitting the wall. Can't get out of this terrible camera angle. I can't tell if he has damage. I'm not sure why. There we go. Fix the camera. He does have damage. He's lost an end plate, so that's his lap we're in. He'll be pitting at the end of this lap. Riding ball with TKDM. And that's our first victim of the Wall of Champions. One of those iconic barriers and walls in F1. Because it's so close to the apex. And that's his end plate gone. I'm just going to call him TKD because it's just easier. He literally spins out of turn 2 as well. Haida Ramos, we'll see how he's doing. He's getting to be on a better lap. He's getting quicker and quicker all session. Men, yes, I agree, John, men. As into the last chicane. Cruising like to go if you can. Get as close to the Wall of Champions as possible. Coming to the line, then it's going to be not going to be pardon me, it's not going to be pole, but he has a quicker lap than Era Voice now. So Era Voice currently starting at the back. Apologies for the burp, but Era Voice currently at the back, but he has the wet setup, so he will be slower. He's in the pits as well as we speak. As Haida cutting turn 4 there. Very strong. I doubt that's going to make him time. Well, he's made him a little bit, but not too much. And that's Nazareth then with a 118.3 on pole in the Trident. Keep in mind these people going really fast don't have a wet setup. I wouldn't be surprised if the bottom half do, or they're just slower. That was a huge corner cut from Haida there, who is going to need investigating after this. I'll let stewards know. He is cutting a lot of... He's cutting the corners like something I've never seen. If this gets him up the order, if this puts him up any places, I'm going to be putting it in the chat. I don't think it knows I'm spectating him either. Anyway, into the last chicane, he brakes. Just a stupid corner cut. That's going to make him gain a ridiculous amount of time. Right, I'm going to have... Yeah, he's going to get... Yeah, he's gone up to 13th. That's going to be a steward's report. There's no way that's legal in any way. put that in there now. Maybe just let these stewards know. See if his lap's going to be any quicker. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Sorry for the silence. Someone's spun at turn 7 again. And that's Alpha Stun, who's out of the session. So major mistake there. We're going to ride on board with Era Voice. Oh, I know the track's been cleared already. We've got 3 minutes left of qualifying. Yeah, it's not been the most entertaining session. I didn't think it'd be this long either, but here we are. Through the last chicane. See how Era Voice can do. Trying to ping the stewards. .121.0, so he is slowest, but he probably has one of the best setups. He has a wet setup. Because the race is going to be wet. As we have 2 minutes left, that's one of the triumphs going slow. Another yellow flag in sector 1, it's just some people going slow, nothing major really. But Haida Ramos, he's fallen back down the order anyway, which he, to be honest, deserves to be, because in the fact he's cut every corner on track. As he does again. I know he's not that, but Alpha Stuns, our second place man on the grid, has crashed and is out of qualifying for the Canadian F2 GP, as this is the Slayer with a massive spin out of the hairpin. I thought I did see someone on the grass. We have one of these people going slow, probably just Haida going slow again. But Slayer had an absolute mare, and it's TKD with another corner, but don't worry about it. It's only regular shut limits, but it's Haida's the one I have a problem with. See what he can do. 118.5, he's half a second slower than he was. It's his 118.5, his fastest lap. So this is all their last push to get on track. As Briggsy's out on track now. He's only got a minute to get around the track. That's not going to be enough. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it. But he'll be starting probably 4th, then maybe a bit lower, because I'm sorry, but there's no chance he'll be getting round in time to get another lap in, unfortunately. Still a yellow flag in sector 3, just someone going slow. It's either one of the MPs or one of the Primers or something along those lines. You're all still here. Freddy is here, in case anyone's wondering. He just can't have the sound on, so he doesn't know when I'm talking. So everyone here, put someone in chat, just talk to me, you know. I want to talk to the viewers, because it's only qualifying and I've got the time too. So John, Ben, say what you like and I'll reply to it all. 20 seconds after quali. Briggsy could make it. It's going to be close. I'm going to ride on board with him to see if he makes it round. He has 15 seconds to the line. It's going to be really close. 10 seconds then. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, as he crosses the line and starts his lap with only 3 seconds remaining. Almost as close as Lewis Hamilton's lap was of Russia this year. I'm going to ride on board with him now, see what he can do. He's on soft tyres, so he's on the slower tyre. Keep in mind, none of these people, if the race is wet, none of these people will be starting on these tyres. I don't know if the race will start off wet, but we'll see. As everyone on track has finished who's in the pit lane or didn't get to start a lap. That still continuing to have flag. Like, people are always running out of fuel, it seems, in quali. In the race, that won't be a problem. I've never been able to drain the petrol tank of an F2 car in the race. Getting close to hairpin now. Huge traffic at the hairpin by the looks of it. Can't quite see what's going on. We'll go right aboard Briggsy till the end of this lap. As you see people following Briggsy. 10-2 letting Briggsy pass. Very nice of him. As he should, really. As that's Haida, he needs to get off the racing line. I'm not sure what he's doing. That's on the racing line at that point. As into the last chicane. Cutting us the last corner. No, not going near the wall of champions. Coming to the line. His lap will be... That's 4th on the grid for Briggsy. He did improve on that lap. So your starting grid then is Nazareth, Alpha Stuns, TKD, Briggsy, Medzi, Tentoon, Becco, Slayer, Albert, Louis, Jack, Kieran, Spursy, Dido, Haida, Aero Voice on the wet setup, and Dakunha rounding off the grid in 17th place. That's just your starting order for the 2020 IFR Christmas Friendly Championship at the Canadian GP. Keep in mind, when actual IFR League's back, we'll be at this track once again, but don't worry, we have another 6 rounds of this. And then we have another 5 rounds of this after this. We're going to Britain, we're going to America, we're going to Suzuka, I believe, as well at some point. Got some really good tracks coming up. I'll double check the calendar for my viewers now. 6 viewers. Make sure you're all subscribed, or I'll cry. There's your starting order, there's your top 14. It's a very mixed up grid. The tracks we're going to after this race we're going to Silverstone or the UK on the 27th, so just after Boxing Day. And then we're going to Belgium, then we're going to Brazil, then we're going to Japan. We're going to round off the Christmas friendly at America, which is an odd one to round off at, but there you go. But that's 4 points for Nazareth. In F2 you get 4 points if you're on pole, so that's going to help his hopeful championship challenge in this series. Yeah, we're all saying we're going to put the next race on strict corner cone. But, and it is raining then. We have rain. I can't tell if I think it's just light rain. It doesn't look very heavy, so, but they'll still all be starting on wet tyres. There's no intermediates in F2. Just the hard, wet tyres. I honestly can't wait to get this race started. I haven't seen a wet race. The closest we got was in China. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really exciting to see what these drivers can do in F2 cars and in the wet. If we go up on grid for the formation lap to begin. Looks just very dark on track as well. That's not the screen, that is how dark it is. It seems to be quite late today. Actually, no, it does appear to be heavy rain, as cars sliding already everywhere. We'll go up and down the grid. Ben, if there's any accidents on the formation lap, please do put them in the highlights. I'm going to ride on board before the grid. Everyone's really taking their time, as that's Louis nearly losing it already. As we go side by side almost, the two of them. The lights at the back flashing away as they do. Many people are struggling with these conditions. Nazareth, be good to see how they all do. Everyone all struggling, just trying to get their tyres as warmed up as they can. Still can't tell if it's heavy rain or not. Everyone here, talk to me in chat while we're racing. Leave your reactions. Is that one of the... And that's Albert falling significantly far behind. He must have had a spin or something. That's Louis Ferdinand going back past Jack Ethan as he should. And it's only a formation lap, and they're almost racing. Hairpin exits are going to be interesting to see. People are going to be struggling. Still side by side. Why are they racing on the formation lap? What is Kieran doing? Actually, no. What is Kieran and Louis Ferrandez doing? For some reason, they're fighting. Okay, they're back into position now. As one of the Carlins, that's Era Voice on the wet setup, spinning at the hairpin. This is on the formation lap, as he was disqualified from the formation lap for that accident. You bet if you put that in the highlights, please. As the grid lines up now, then ready for it's going to be a very wet race. I don't think it's going to dry up throughout. You line up on the grid now then, getting ready for the... We'll put the map back on. Get ready for the start then of the race. As your lights are coming on then, we're at 5 lights now then. As we leave the grid in Canada, everyone crawling off the lines they do, but Alpha Stun with a fantastic start, already past Nazareth, cluttered behind, someone's already on the grass before we even get to turn 1. Nazareth goes down the inside but doesn't appear to make the corner. That's Slayer then, fighting through the pack already, many position changes already on the first lap. TKD's had a dreadful start as Slayer spins round at the first corner. Down into turn 3 then, we'll see if anyone else has spun. There seems to be many cars have spun. Back here then, that's Era, I think that's Jack Ethan off as well. Many people struggling with these conditions. Slayer and Jack Ethan were some of the turmoils caught up in the first corner. As Louis Ferrandez appears, yeah, Louis Ferrandez has also not had a great start. Many people struggling in these wet conditions as someone else has spun up ahead. It's nearly spun, I should say, it's Becco falling down into 10th. We'll look at as Era Voice already up into 11th place. Dido up as sailing past the Kunha. And then what a fantastic move by him as we go to the hairpin now, one of the trickiest corners on the track with these wet conditions. As Jack even falling even further behind. The Kunha trying to go around the outside but failing as Era Voice goes down the inside. They're still fighting actually down the straight. No, it seems to be Dukun has got the edge. Era Voice then side by side of Spursy coming down to the Wall of Champions. Still going. Will he go for the move or right on board? With down the inside goes Kieran. Spursy should have gone around the bollard then. There'll be an investigation after the race because of that. But Kieran, very risky move, but pulled it off nonetheless as Era Voice fighting for a top as the Kunha goes wide at turn 1. One more with Dido now, a big bunch of cars up ahead. Tentoon Stelling really struggling in these wet conditions then. As into the back of Tentoon, Albert De Wright goes. Colliding with, I think that was Dido as well. Lots of contact, lots of debris coming off the cars up ahead. Almost 3 wide between these two. Will Era go for the move? No, he backs out of it. But round the outside, the Kunha tries to go, but backs off in the end. As he finds out there is no room as Haida is pitting. As he clearly has front wing damage. As a yellow flag further behind. That's Louis Ferrandez spinning. I think he's lost his whole front wing now. We'll have a look. No, he's lost half of his front wing, I should say. Really, another person struggling to get up to temperature in these wet conditions. Briggsy's up into 2nd place. He's charging for the leader. Brought the gap down to 3 seconds. We'll ride on board with him now. If we can just find his usernames. Round the outside, the Kunha attempts on. I think that was Dido as tries to go down the inside of Nazareth but fails. Briggsy then already lit up his tyres then Found the maximum pace in this race. Yellow flag in sector 3 is absolute carnage back here. All the cars are really close at one point. Slayer's fallen behind. Like matters, him, Han, Era Voice. Rising Era Voice has fallen right down as Louis Fernandez is getting involved now. We'll go on to spectator cam side by side. Louis Fernandez, will he go down the inside of the World Champions? No, that's Slayer pitting as he cuts the second part of the chicane. People that are not abiding by the rules. As Briggsy then being overtaken by TKD and being put on pressure now by Alpha Stuns. He must have made a mistake somewhere, and it's so hard to keep on top of all the action already this race. 3 laps of just people absolutely broken up. There's Lily spinning around Briggsy there, you can see him fighting the wheel, as TKD also struggling. As down the straight we go, Briggsy is without a doubt gaining on him. This is going to give Nazareth the perfect opportunity to get away from it all. Keep in mind, non-these drivers have to pit this race, as Briggsy then really getting them back in lively coming out of turn 7. Into the hairpin, then late braking from all the drivers as they all take quite a wide line and going normal racing line. TKD really struggling to get the power down. Briggsy with an undoubtedly better exit, already contact or just another spin at turn 1. Slayer after just coming out the pits has already spun round. Right on board with Briggsy, how it's side by side down the back straight into the chicane. Can Briggsy go around the outside? No, he backs out of it. TKD with solid defence there. Right on board with Becker, who's very close to 10-2 Stelling as Nazis puts in the fastest lap of the race. It's a massive group of cars at turn 1. Yellow flag in sector 2 as I think that's Slayer spinning again. Yes, Slayer spun yet again. As the Kunha seems to be oh, and that's Dido then completely making a fool of himself at the first corner as Becco and 10-2 Stelling still putting the pressure on each other. It's been an absolutely shocker of a race for Slayer, who is falling so far behind. He's going to be lapped soon. 5/10 separating the second and third. Then it's going to be a good battle for these two then for the rest of the race. As into turns 6 through 7, hard to go on to get the power down. If Briggsy can maximise the exit coming out, no DRS. Remember now, it's a yellow flag. As Nazareth must have made a mistake. He's going incredibly slowly. And that's Nazareth sworn down to first as TKD takes the lead of the race. Nazareth though will not give up this win. He's been searching for another win since he won in Netherlands, I believe, in the actual IFR league. He's had such bad luck all for the past few races. He will not be giving this one up. As Dido then on the map is falling further behind, trying to go master Kunha, but clearly failing as Nazareth pits. We're riding on board with Dido then, coming down the back straight, also side by side ahead with 10-2 Stelling and Becco. 10-2 Stelling back ahead of Becco again as Dido's got the inside line, backs out of it as the Kunha pits. Pits have stopped raining, I believe, so maybe they're all pitting onto dry tyres. I suppose we'll see. And that's 10-2 then pitting onto the dries. A very random strategy call. We'll have a look at the tyres. He's the first person then on, no he's not, he's the second person on the dry tyres. All 4 of these drivers in the pit lane appear to be going onto the dry tyres, and yellow, it still looks to be quite wet out there though, so it's an interesting strategy call. As Briggs is falling behind TKD in the clear, and as Medzi gets ahead of Alpha Stuns, he's fallen down to 4th place. So three drivers then on the dry tyres. The Kunha is one of them. Tentoon and Albert Devi are the other 2. Quite nice, but it doesn't look like there is any spray really coming off the cars. Just very dark conditions, so it's very hard to tell if it's dry as Medzi spins round by taking too much curb. Briggs is still trying to keep close. Becco then, he looks like he's going to get past Medzi, should be an easy pass. He's got way more speed. Down the pit straight, Medzi's got up to speed side by side. Who will back up first? Medzi pulling across, trying to block the inside line. Are they both pitting? Medzi pits. Becco staying out on the, as Era Voice, Medzi with a 5-second time penalty. As Era Voice gone to these super soft tyres then. he's got a long distance to the rest of the race, unless if he knows if maybe even more rain is coming. We don't know. But these drivers don't seem to think that it's dry enough yet, as that's the Slayer yet again spinning round on dry tyres. Clearly the track isn't fully dry yet. Alpha Stun's on the dries. Menzies now onto the dries. Louis Ferran, no, Tentoon on the dries. Half the grid then is basically on dry tyres now, as 1.4 seconds separates the top two now. The bottom half of the grid, anyone from below 7th, is now on dry tyres, as Briggsy getting there. Very shapy, as it's very close between all drivers coming out the pit lane. We're right on board with them now. I'm not sure if it's between 10-2 and Albert Devite looked on the map. They look very close between each other. Half the grid then on dry tyres now then. We've only got 5 people in this race on the wets. And Dido is one of them, and the dry tyres are definitely the quickest then, as Haida puts in the fastest lap. A really easy pass from 10-2 Sterling then. DRS I don't think has been enabled yet, but it is looking dry. As Briggsy and TKD are now pitting. Becco is pitting, so De Cunha will probably end up being our current race leader. He called the strategy perfect. Briggsy also on super soft tyres. Keep in mind, the softer the tyre, the more grip they have, because the track is still slightly damp. So the super soft tyres are the quickest and they have the most grip. So Briggsy get past TKD before the end of pit lane? Doesn't look like it. TKD is still our race leader. But can TKD get past Briggsy as De Cunha? No. Can De Cunha get past Briggsy? Doesn't look to be. Briggsy's out ahead. But De Cunha then up into 3rd place. Menzi then getting ahead of Becco. As well, very fast on a Becco coming out the pit lane. Albert DeWitt or DeVite getting a bit shapy out of turn 2. People are struggling with the F2 cars, but I don't think it's just necessarily down to the damp conditions or the greasy track, as Menzi nearly losing it out of turn 5. It'll be quite a thrilling battle here. Very dark as well. I'm surprised how dark it is. Also, none of us actually knew it would be a wet race. It's dynamic weather. It was just a good call from Hero Voice, who is down in 16th, unfortunately for him. He said it'd be wet throughout. Clearly that setup choice was wrong, as Menzi is all over the back of Albert. Will he go for a dive into the hairpin? The slipstream is working as he goes for the move. Down the inside he goes. Slight lock up. Contact from the then. Menzi Lily spinning round. Albert might seem to be closing the door, but Albert's held the position. Bringing very racy between these two. DRS is now enabled then, so it is definitely the time for dry tyres. Everyone is now on the dry, so we have a normal race ahead of us then. As will he go for the risky move? No, he doesn't. It's going to be a good battle between these two then. We'll ride the ball with Albert Devite as down the pit straight they come. Menzi then trying to go down the inside of turn 1. Very easy move by him, and then he makes his way up into 7th place. De Cunha then appears to be being put on pressure by Alpha Stuns, who's definitely been the quicker driver this weekend, who uses a bit of grass. De Cunha not getting a good exit. I think, yeah, Alpha Stuns has DRS. As there's a 3-second time penalty for Jack for corner cutting, by the looks of it. Or traffic stealing, take your pick. 3/10 separating De Cunha and Alpha. Now there'll probably be a pass on the back straight then for these two. Doesn't go through moving the hairpin. De Cunha goes very wide at the hairpin. Tries to cut back into Alpha but fails. Alpha gets a poor exit. Out of the hairpin, sorry. Sorry if you heard the audio in the background. Should still be able to hear me. Let me just fix this. We'll ride on board with the battle, see if anything happens. You can all still hear me. Nothing happening there then. We'll ride on board with it down the pit straight. It should all be down the pit straight. Does he go for the move in turn 1? No. Okay, yeah, my mic is working. So we're all good. As another poor exit from De Cunha. Going out into turn 4. Will he go for a move? No, he doesn't. De Cunha struggling then quite a lot. Surprised Briggsy isn't gaining on the leader with those super soft tyres, but clearly he's not been able to light them up yet. As Dekunha almost wide again, just a slight bit, would have lost a bit of time. As Alpha Stuns gets a good exit onto the second of 3 DRS straights at this track. We have 3 DRS straights at this track. The first one of our commentator. As he corner cuts to almost get past, as he gets a 3-second time penalty for doing so deservedly after a disgusting attempt to get past him by going off the track. As Dekunha goes wide again, as so does Alpha slightly. Both get a decent exit though out of the corner. Maybe that might be Dekunha's line. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a slower line as Alpha Stun's now coming down the back straight. Should be a relatively easy pass. He'll probably have it done by the end. No, they're still side by side. No, he has it done. Dekunha thinks about going down the inside but doesn't. We're on a ball with Beko and Tentun, who are still battling away. All race these two have been going. We're halfway into the race then. Beko has DRS, but Tentun definitely holding that 5th place. If Beko gets 5th, it'll be a really good result for him. He's had a difficult season. A very difficult season. I'm interested to see if the rain will come back. Some of the track is still wet. Off the line, it's definitely still a bit damp. I've noticed that. I keep in mind, these are the brand new F2 2020 cars as well, who have only been out a couple weeks at that. So people are still going to be getting, and they do feel a bit different from the 2019 one, so people are still going to be getting used to them. Very close between these two now then. Over 1.5 seconds separating Dekunha and Alpha Stuns then. But keep in mind, Alpha Stuns has that penalty. Beko all over the back of Tentun though. If he nails the exit out the hairpin, he'll definitely get a pass down the back straight. As Tentun seems to be getting quite wobbly there then. We ride on board, we're not on board with him, but we ride with Beko then, with the DRS, see if we can do it. Tentun going offline to the dusty part of the track. Doesn't get it done by the chicane, breaks a bit later. Gets Tentun seems to got the better exit, but DRS once again is going down into turn 1, getting closer and closer. Beko must be getting so frustrated behind him as Kieran goes past Albert Devine, who's pitting for some reason. Maybe he must have damage, I'm not quite sure there. We'll see what he goes on to. But Nazareth's falling into 9th place unfortunately after starting what I think was on pole. I think he was on pole sitter. He's gone to wet tyres. It is raining again here at Canada. He's gone on the early call and it has just started to rain at Canada once again. This race is absolute drama. We're going to have the last few laps under rain again. We've had dry running. DRS will be disabled. Seems to be disabled already then. So everyone's going to be struggling on the dry tyres. Someone's already had a bad exit out of somewhere. I'm not sure where. One of the Premiers or MPs then. Tentun pulling away now then. He's brought the gap down to 3.5 seconds on Dekunha, but most of these drivers will be pitting. Era Voice is already pitted onto wet tyres, getting the undercut, trying to get the undercut on the rest of the grid, who's now down in last, but hopefully that's not for too long. If you look at the track map, the grid all munched up, the rain is getting heavier. I know the weather's insane, Atmos, it's ridiculous. It's on and off all race. Tentun and Beko, interestingly, not pitting. Then that's quite a strange one. The top people aren't pitting until we only have 2 people on wet. It's very early as there's a spinner. Is it Alpha? No, it's not Alpha. We'll see who it is now. As Era Voice must have made a mistake coming out of turn 2. I don't think the track's wet enough for wets yet. I think he's just discovered. Era Voice and having a difficult race as I think that's Dido spinning. No, it's Slayer with another spin. Slayer is going to become the new Sebastian Spinastian Vettel at this point as Tentun gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, clearly with an illegal overtake on someone, as people are now pitting for the wets. Maybe the track is now wet enough. Right on board with Nazareth, who's also pitted. Maybe he's obviously on recovery this race. Very strange audio. Very close between all drivers here. Nazareth. What's happening with Slayer? I'm so confused. Had a shocker. Maybe he's not very good at the F2 cars. Anton or Atmos. He's Atmos. I call him Atmos. It's easier. Someone know him. As Beko is finally passed. Tentoon, as Tentoon sliding everywhere. Briggsy with a 5-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane. That's going to compromise him a lot, but he's pitting for wets. But Tentoon sliding everywhere. DRS is now officially disabled in the bottom right. As Tentoon is pitting, getting the undercut on Becco. Becco will just be getting slower and slower. He should have pitted. Tentoon and also with another 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But Briggsy then onto the wets before TKD. Nazareth up into 9th. And two drivers then going incredibly wide at the hairpin. Hayder and Albert DeWhite that was. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe a very late move, or they're both just have zero grip in these conditions. We'll have to see if there's any incident investigations after. But I think that's Briggsy going quite slow out of turn 3. Becco up into 3rd, but he's on the softs, so he will be pitting, there's no doubt about it. And you're on a ball with Dido getting quite close to Spursy. Dido on a good strategy, but keep in mind Dido has not been quick in the wet, but he looks to be getting used to it now. No DRS now though, so there will probably be less overtakes, but it's more about the drama. No one though, surprisingly, has DNF'd. As it's a new front wing for Hayder as well. Must have just gone for a late move and pushed to both cars wide then. Briggsy then 30 seconds behind TKD. That's enough time. That's enough time to get the jump on him 100%. 6 seconds set. Alpha Sun 7 turns behind Becco. The track is absolutely soaking. As you can see, it looks just a grease patch now. Very easy pass. Yellow flag in sector 2. That's probably, is it Dido? Yes, it is. Dido is involved with someone like Luis Ferrandez struggling with pace as well, then as Spursy gets past them. TKD's pitted. Will Briggsy get the jump on him? No, he hasn't. He hasn't jumped him at all. Era then still down in 17, but he's in the top three. We'll have to let him pass. That's unfortunate. I thought he would have made that. But Becco's finally pitted. Kieran still hasn't pitted. DeKun chasing Slayer. Slayer's had, I know Slayer's being lapped, but Slayer's had a horrible race. Absolutely horrible race. Briggsy then just being let past by Era. Era had such a good setup for this, right? And he's just not been quick in the wet. He hasn't had the power in his car by the looks of it, as DeKun now. DeKun up into 4th. His strategy calls this race have been nothing short of fantastic, as Slayer spins again. What? How is Slayer having such a bad race? Now he can barely even get back underway. Slayer then undoubtedly up there with worst driver of the day then. Such an unfortunate, hopefully he can come back net red. He goes really wide, does he go around the bollard? He goes around the bollard, which should be there, so he's safe, but he still gets a penalty as he didn't even attempt to slow down. And that penalty will not be being removed. As Albert DeWhite has spun and quickly doing donuts, has front wing damage as well. No safety car then. Someone spun at the hairpin. I'm not sure who that is. We'll ride on board with, I think we just found them. Slayer, yeah, it was Slayer. Again, spinning. Again, at the hairpin. Massive train of cars behind him. And that's Era Voice spinning. Going backwards into the pit lane almost. At turn 1. Most of the grid then now has penalties. Albert DeWhite. Oh, very aggressive from Spursy. These two not been having fun, as that's going to give Spursy the chance to get involved. Nailing the exit, nearly going on the grass. Actually, no, Albert DeWhite got the better exit there. All these cars then very close between each other. 3 temps separating Becco. Very close between all drivers here. Ghosting is on, so Tentoon could just go through Slayer. As Becco nearly loses it. They're all strong. This is, keep in mind, the rain here is heavier than it was before. The yellow flag gives us the traffic. Nazareth up into 6th as well. Vulnerable with him. He's had a good recovery this race. Everyone watching the stream, we've got 7 people watching. Everyone here, leave a like. I want to get at least 6 likes. At least 6 likes on the stream. Albert DeWhite's pitted again. I'm not. Maybe there was more contact. But Nazareth said gaining on Tentoon cuts the trap. He goes around the bollard. Should be okay. Yeah, he's okay. So that's going to give Nazareth an easy pass. Hopefully, he'll be going around the outside. Easy move by him then into the hairpin. No, Tentoon fights back, but fails to capitalise anything on that. Becco getting involved then. Becco also getting past Tentoon. Been a drastic failure by Tentoon then, as people are still trying to learn the boundaries of these wet tyres. Nazareth up into 5th. Medley also catching up as well now. Dido putting pressure on Louis. He's catching up to him undoubtedly. 7/10 separating these two here, Jack and Kieran's. Hi to all my friends. Hello Gomex. Leave a like on the stream. Subscribe. You know what to do. I'm guessing you DNF. Getting closer to the Carlins then. A Slayer gets a 3-second time made for corner cutting. His era voice spins yet again. We've got a huge sandwich going on here. Just battling after battling here. Very turn 1, this seems to be close between lots of drivers as well. John, very professional commentator like always. Thank you Gomex. Means a lot. As Becco gaining on Nazareth, we're going to spectator cam instead of on board. Gaining behind him, Nazareth seems to be not getting good exits as Becco seems to be fighting as coming to the hairpin now side by side between the two drivers. Keeping it respectful into the hairpin. Becco going around the outside. Slayer Nazareth breaks latest. Becco gets the switchback. Fantastic overtake by Becco. And the late braking from Nazareth clearly sacrificed him there. But Nazareth down the back straight will have slipstream on Becco. This battle is not going to finish until the end of this lap, I can tell you that now. Becco, no, Nazareth trying to go around the outside. Can he pull it off into chicane? Becco with the inside line. And also Nazareth with damage too, but he's still fighting him. Down the pit straight, that's past Becco yet again. But Becco will come back down into turn 1, down the inside. Slayer's retired then, as Nazareth goes into Becco then. That's the end of the battle, as Becco also resets the track. I'm not sure if that's illegal in this series. Slayer's retired, as we saw earlier. I'm not sure if that's illegal in the friendly championship, but I would have said it's understandable, but Nazareth then will probably get a penalty as he didn't leave. I'm not sure, we'll have to look at that after. I'll probably put it down to racing incident. I'm sorry, Becco can't have any luck though, can he? He just can't. As Tentoon now gaining on Nazareth by the looks of it. Hope you're enjoying the stream everyone, including you Gomex. Let me know your opinion so far. As we've got, I think that's Dekunha. Dekunha has spun at the hairpin. Slayer's retired. No, not retired, his Slayer's left. Dekunha has spun at the hairpin. That's going to give Nazareth the opportunity to catch up. Only a second now separating these two. Tentoon definitely gaining a lot of pace on them now. And if anyone's new to my channel, in case you didn't know, I'm called John. 4/10 separating Tentoon and Medzi though. Medzi with a lot more straight line speed. Medzi definitely the quicker driver out of these two then. As through the chicane, keep in mind, Gomex, it's only regular track limits in case you didn't know. Or anyone else watching this in case they didn't know. As coming out into the first corner, will he go for a move? He doesn't even think about it. He's firmly staying behind. I think he's probably going to force Tentoon into an error if he can. There's definitely a battle going on here, but Nazareth up into 5th place, controversially. Considering him and Becco had a slight lock-up, I don't know if you heard that. Really enjoy it, mate. You are awesome. Thank you, Gomex. Appreciate it. Hope to see you back here in the next stream as well. Medzi's keeping close to 10-2 though. He's lost a bit of time. Becco somehow made it to 2 seconds. But he does have a penalty. I'm not sure how he's made it down to 2 seconds. But he clearly wants to get back involved. Slight corner cut from Medzi, but regular track limits, not really an issue unless there is a stupid corner cut. Becco coming back there. Becco is quick in the wet in these F2 guys, undoubtedly. Super close between all the drivers here. Really like the battle with Nazareth and Becco, very clean. It was very clean until they collided. But yeah, it was a fantastic battle until that point. Fantastic. Seems to be getting close between Jack and Albert as well. We're riding ball with that now. Albert going wide. And wide again. It's going to be side by side then. Into turn 5. Contact between the two. And Albert shutting the door. That's controversial. As Medzi then still chasing after 10-2. It's down the inside. He goes to turn 2. That's going to be Medzi round. As 10-2 leaves the gap. But then closes it as well as he was going down the inside. That's Becco back up into 7th. And Medzi down into 8th. That's probably going to be a penalty for 10-2. And that's not very good from him, as he did leave the door open. Medzi went for the gap, which he should have, over halfway by the side. Will probably be a penalty, as Kieran getting past Spursy. Pretty sure Spursy's a Group 2 driver, but Spursy's coming back at Kieran. No, maybe not. He had a good exit, and then he bugged up the exit. We've got 1 lap left after this. Looks to be TKD is going to be winning it. Briggs second for Briggsy though, not too bad. Albert Devine ahead of, as Jack goes down the inside. That's a 3-second time penalty for Albert Devine. But Jack goes down the inside, cuts the corner significantly. Albert also cuts the second part of the chicane. Albert should have gone around the bollard there. Many people there will be investigated after the race for not going around the bollard, as they were instructed to in the Discord server. Going to ride a ball with Becco, who's gaining on 10-2. Again, we've got 1 lap left. We'll see if Becco can reclaim 6th, maybe even 5th. I doubt it. 10-2 gaining on Nazareth as well. The track isn't drying up. It's getting wetter still. Era though. Era voice. Unfortunately, down in last place. He had such a good setup as well. Louis Ferrandes about to lap Era voice as well. So close between these two. Briggsy seems to be gaining as well. He's brought the gap down to 3.9. Nazareth slight corner car. Nazareth's a terrible exit. This could be happening. 10-2 could claim 5th on the last lap of the race. We're going to ride on board this to the end. Down the inside he goes. Thinks about the move. Slight contact between them both is going to compromise 10-2 significantly. Nazareth's hitting the wall. It's going to be happening. Nazareth, it can't. Nazareth is struggling so much. Medzi all as well putting the pressure on Becco. To contact between 10-2 and Nazareth. Nazareth moves over. 10-2 down the inside. Nearly 4 wide. 10-2 round the bollard. Briggsy getting a 5-second time penalty for being unserved. TKD wins the Grand Prix. What is happening this last lap? Nazareth, Medzi down as well, going down the inside. 4 cars, but in potential for 5th place, as contact again with Nazareth and another driver. Nazareth with a terrible race. Someone else is going very slowly near the finish line as well. It's going to be going to the end. We're going to ride on board with it to the end. Becco fighting for 6th place. He could claim 5th. He could easily do it. Can he nail the exit out the chicane? No, he can't. Nazareth definitely can't. He did get a good exit though. To the line. 10-2 comes home in 5th. Someone's off as well. Albert's off at the last corner. Becco falling down to 7th. Nazareth's back up into 5th because of penalties. 10-2 down to 6th because of penalties. What a dramatic last lap from all the drivers there. As that's the end of your Canadian GP for today. I'm not sure what Albert's doing. He's on the line. He's had a shocker. Albert upside down. A massive crash. What happened there? It seems to have been hit from another driver. Albert upside down. Another driver in the IFR. Upside down as the Kunhiget's driver of the day, deservedly. What a crazy last lap from all drivers. And there's your race winner, TKD, I believe. After just, no other words, just a crazy race. Absolutely crazy. That last lap was honestly, I didn't even know what to say. Just, wow. What a race. We had drama with the weather. This is why we need wet races. The weather has so much drama. There's your finishing. All three Brits on the podium then. Your finishing order is TKT, Briggsy, Alpha Stuntons, DeKutnher, Nazareth, Tentoon Stelling, Becco, Medzi, Louis Ferrandez, Dido, Kieran, Spursy, Haida, Jack, Albert, Era, Slayer. Rounding off your race for today. 4 points for Medzi then as well. That's going to be good for him. TKD with 27 points as well. He had fastest lap, so he gained 2 points from that. What a crazy and dramatic race from all drivers concerned. Everyone put in their max effort. Unfortunately, Slayer had a terrible race. Did what he could though. Most people with the 3 stops or the 2 stops. Just what a race from all the drivers. And TKT claiming a deserved win then. I am so glad I commentated over this. I am so glad. What a race. The setup ruined my rear tyres and within 3 laps. Oh, that's a shame. Because you could have had a good race as well. Just what a race then. Thank you everyone for watching this stream. I'm surprised we got as many views as we did, considering the fact that pace was okay, tyres were dead too fast. Yeah, I could tell. That was Era voice or Fabian saying that in the chat. But thank you everyone for watching this stream. Thank you to IFR for once again allowing me to commentate. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, and I will see you, I believe, for the next race after Christmas on the 27th. So and that's Ben saying very nice. So from everyone, hi IFR, from me, everyone have a good Christmas. We'll have the race highlights out soon, and I'm going to be working with Ben to do the mid-season montage. But everyone here, have a nice Christmas, and I'll see you for Britain in a week's time. Have a great Christmas from everyone here at IFR and myself, and I will see you soon.